Dame time is fading, but here's why Damian Lillard will always be feared. Did Dame time really just end with a torn Achilles and a quiet buyout? One minute he was dropping 39 in his Bucks debut, the next he's off the roster and out for the season? But here's the thing, Damian Lillard has never needed a spotlight to be feared. From Oakland gyms to player buzzer beaters, he's built a legacy on silence before the kill. So even if he's not on the court right now, does that mean defenders can finally breathe easy? Or is Dame time still ticking in the background? Well, let's dive right into it. Born in Oakland. Damian Lillard didn't come from a polished basketball system or some fancy training academy. He came from Oakland, a place where toughness wasn't a label, it was a lifestyle. Growing up there shaped his game fast. If you didn't bring heart, you didn't last. He didn't get handed attention early on. In fact, he had to transfer high schools just to find a team that would give him playing time. Even in college, most scouts weren't paying attention. He went to Weber State, not exactly a basketball factory, but that's where he started building that no-nonsense mentality that fans would later know as Dame time. No hype, just work. At Weber, he didn't just put up stats, he led. He scored, assisted, defended, and stayed consistent through every season. By the time the 2012 NBA draft rolled around, his name wasn't buried anymore. Portland saw the potential and took him 6th overall. They weren't chasing hype, they were betting on a killer instinct. And from day one in the league, he showed exactly why that bet was worth it. Loyalty in Portland. When Damian Lillard arrived in Portland in 2012, there wasn't a huge welcome or massive hype. Yet within weeks, fans realized what they had. Lillard scored 23 points in his NBA debut, dished out 11 assists, and instantly looked like someone who belonged. By the end of his rookie season, he had played all 82 games and ran away with Rookie of the Year. Over the next decade, Lillard didn't just grow, he carried. He became the face of the Trailblazers, their all-time leading scorer and the heartbeat of every playoff run. And he did it all without chasing trades or stacking super teams. While stars around the league were switching jerseys, Dame stayed in Portland, holding it down season after season. He gave them legendary moments, like the 2014 buzzer beater that eliminated Houston, and the 2019 walk-off three that ended OKC's season and left Paul George staring into space. Fans called it Dame time for a reason. Whenever the game got tight, everyone in the building knew who was taking the shot. Even through injuries, roster changes, and coaching shifts, Dame never turned on the city. He spoke up when things weren't right, but never walked away. That kind of loyalty is rare in the NBA. And while it didn't lead to a championship, it built something deeper, a legacy tied to one city, one team, and one fan base that never stopped believing in him. Even when the championship hopes faded, Dame gave Portland something just as unforgettable. Moments that stopped the basketball world in its tracks. The shot that froze time, Dame time explained. You see, there's a reason Dame time became more than a nickname. It was a warning. When the clock ticked down, defenses got tense. Because when Damian Lillard had the ball in the final seconds, the outcome rarely favored the other team. The phrase started early in his career. He would tap his wrist after sinking a dagger shot, letting everyone know it was his time. Not just once or twice, it became routine. He led the league in clutch points across multiple seasons. He hit step-backs from 35 feet, pull-ups from the logo, and game winners with entire crowds holding their breath. 2 moments made the phrase legendary. The first came in 2014, Game 6 against Houston. Lillard caught the inbound and let it fly. Ball game. Series over. Then, in 2019, he did it again, this time over Paul George to knock OKC out of the playoffs. That one was deeper. That one got him mobbed by teammates while he stood emotionless, staring into the camera like he'd done it 100 times. It was never luck. His range was insane, his confidence unshakable, and the execution always clean. The kind of shot most players avoid were the ones he hunted. But even the strongest runs eventually face a crossroads, and for Dame, that moment came in 2023. But before we continue, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this one. Now moving on. From Trailblazer to Buck. For years, Damian Lillard's loyalty to Portland felt unshakable. He kept saying he wanted to win there, and most fans believed he would retire a Trailblazer. Then everything flipped in 2023. After months of trade rumors and tension with the front office, he was sent to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team deal that caught the whole league off guard. This wasn't a slow farewell. It was a dramatic shift. One day, he was the heart of Portland, and the next, he was pairing up with Giannis Antetokounmpo chasing a ring in Milwaukee. For the first time in his career, he was on a team that wasn't rebuilding or trying to keep up. He was walking into a championship contender. And he made an immediate impact. In his very first game with the Bucks, Lillard dropped 39 points. That set the franchise record for the most points ever scored in a debut. It was loud, it was confident, and it sent a message to the league. Dame didn't come to Milwaukee to blend in. He came to finish what he started. The move was risky for both sides. For Lillard, it meant stepping away from everything he built in Portland. For Milwaukee, it meant going all in. And at first, it looked like a perfect match. Giannis and Dame were supposed to be the duo that could run through the East. The team was stacked, the expectations were sky high, and fans were ready for a deep playoff run. No one saw the storm that was coming. Collapse in Milwaukee, injuries, tension, and a torn Achilles. The hype in Milwaukee didn't last long. After that explosive debut, things slowly started falling apart. Damian Lillard began missing games mid-season, and by March 2025, the team revealed he was dealing with deep vein thrombosis, a serious blood clot in his leg. It wasn't a minor issue. For a moment, it looked like his season might be over. He made it back just in time for the playoffs, but then came the real blow. In Game 4 of the first round against the Pacers, Lillard went down with a torn Achilles. No contact, just a sudden stop, and it was over. One of the most feared closers in NBA history had just suffered one of the worst injuries a player can face. Behind the scenes, things were tense. The Bucks wanted him to rehab in Milwaukee, stay close to the team. Lillard wanted to be in Portland with his family and doctors he trusted. That disagreement turned into a quiet standoff. There were no public fights, just a growing disconnect. Then came the surprise move. The Bucks waived him in July. They used the NBA stretch provision, agreeing to pay out over $113 million across 5 years while freeing up room to sign Miles Turner. Just like that, the Lillard-Giannis era ended without a playoff run, without a real shot, and without a goodbye. For fans, it was tough to watch. One of the greatest scorers in the league, cut loose while recovering. No farewell tour, just headlines and silence. And yet, even in that silence, something stayed the same. People still talked about Dame. Not out of sympathy, but because his name still meant something. Even off the court, defenders hadn't forgotten. Because when a player earns fear, it doesn't just fade when the jersey comes off. Fading, but still feared. Damian Lillard is 35, recovering from a torn Achilles and technically a free agent. On paper, it might look like the end. No team, no timetable for return, no guarantees. But people around the league aren't talking like it's over. They're watching closely. Even before the injury, Lillard had interest from teams like the Lakers, Warriors, Celtics, and Heat. And after the Bucks buyout, those conversations started heating up again. Teams know what they're getting. It's not just scoring, it's pressure, it's unpredictability. It's that feeling when the ball finds his hands in the final seconds and no one can breathe. His deep range has always forced defenses to stretch further than they wanted. He's hit over 2,800 three-pointers in his career, fourth most in NBA history. And they weren't all clean corner shots. He pulls up from 35 feet like he's standing at the free throw line. That kind of shooting forces adjustments. It changes spacing. It makes defenders nervous before the play even starts. But what really sticks with people is how calm he stays when everything gets chaotic. No celebration after a series winner, no extra drama, just a straight face and a quiet walk-off. That kind of control doesn't go away with an injury. It's part of who he is. Even if Dame sits out the entire 2025-26 season, teams will still be calling. Not because they're chasing nostalgia, but because they know that when he's healthy, he's still a problem. And when the game gets tight, the guy who used to silence entire arenas is still the one you don't want across from you. That's not hype. That's reputation, and it still holds weight. Now to you. When Dame finally laces up again, do you think he'll return as a silent assassin or the league's most dangerous underdog with unfinished business? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. As you'll leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.